Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Thank you everyone for taking our time today for the webinar. My name is Zishan. I take care of digital marketing at Utunga. We welcome everyone to the webinar, Managing Your ROI and TCO in Automation Testing. In today's webinar, we will help you understand how to manage your ROI and TCO with the help of case studies and provide you the best approaches to improve your ROI and reduce your TCO. Before I get started, let's have a couple of minutes to introduce Utunga. Next slide. We are a product engineering and industrial solutions company. For over 14 years, we have partnered closely with industrial OEMs to build products and solutions from concept all the way through the lifecycle of the product. Our engineers have added digital layers to mechanical, non-digital field devices, build configuration, calibration software, highly sophisticated data integration, visualization and analytics solutions, provided consultation and services on industrial security and quality engineering. We offer services in application development, embedded services, IIoT, and verification and validation. Our services are targeted to OEMs and end industries in process, factory, and power domains. We follow a strict and secure development lifecycle for all our projects. Next slide. Utonga is present in 4 different locations. We have offices in USA, Germany, Japan, and headquarters in India, that is Bengaluru. We are a ISO 9001 and 27001 certified company with 600 plus engineering professionals striving to deliver world-class services and solutions to our customers. Next slide. A few industrial consortiums we closely work with on connectivity and protocols. Industrial connectivity is the foundation for Industry 4.0, and that's how we started as a company about 14 years ago. That is connecting field devices and assets to hardware and software systems up in the value chain. Our associations with these consortiums is rooted in our commitment to help our customers build interoperable industrial systems. Next slide. With that, I would like to introduce the speakers for today. Ravi Kumar. Ravi specializes in software test automation and manual testing domain. He has experience of more than 15 years into different automation tools like Selenium, Test Complete, and other open source tools. The recommendations offered by him allows execution of multiple process automation projects like DCS testing, DTM application automation, AMS updates, patching in industrial automation domains for desktop, mobile, web, and cloud applications. Our second speaker is Nandan. Nandan is an expert software tech architect with over 12 years of experience in testing landscape. He's generally known as a sign-off gatekeeper for delivering zero business impact and bug-free software. He's passionate about new technologies and quality innovations with a proven track record in Oracle, Cisco, and SAP Labs. Just a quick housekeeping points before we get started. The duration of the webinar is 60 minutes. We will utilize the last 10 minutes for Q&A segment. Please send in your questions using the Q&A icon on your left-hand side of your screen. The presentation slide and the link of the webinar recording will be emailed to you post-webinar. Request you to click on the full screen icon on your top right side of your screen to get a good view of the slides. Before I hand it over to Ravi, let's have a poll for 30 seconds. I request the attendees to please select your answers. Are you aware of the methods to reduce ROI and TCO in automation testing? The options were yes and no. So I see majority of our audience are unaware of the methods, but definitely we will be helping you out with the right methods and tactics to improve your ROI and reduce your TCO. So without further delay, I would like to hand it over to Ravi. It's all yours.
Yeah, thanks, Zishan. Hi, thanks all for joining this webinar. So yeah, let's start straight away. without delaying further. So today's agenda, as we have already informed, so the main agenda is understanding how to manage your ROI and TCO in automation testing. So first of all, let us try to understand and explore what is ROI in automation testing and what is the cost of ownership. So, and how will we able to improve that by understanding and going through few of the case studies. Okay, so while going through, we will understand what are the challenges we face while doing testing and starting automation testing, and few case studies using best approaches through which we can reduce the cost of ownership and improve the ROI. And then the options to calculate the ROI. So there are different options with which we can calculate the ROI, and the best approaches for improving the ROI and reducing the TCO. So the overall agenda is to ensure using the case studies, so how we will be able to calculate the ROI and improvise on top of it. So yeah, next slide, please. So first, let us try to understand what is an ROI. So ROI is mainly whether it is related to cost or whether it is just calculating the time saved. So it is not just related to the number of bugs detected, or it is not just the number of total tests we covered or the coverage of the overall testing we performed. ROI is a cumulative of consolidation of all these activities with which we will be able to analyze how much we have saved and how much we will be able to save in the future, as well as we can analyze what areas we need to improve upon. So this is how we need to look into the ROI. So and that too, with respect to test automation, when we start the test automation, we need to have some kind of a benchmark or target which we need to attend to, and we need to start looking into that benchmark and start proceeding with the automation. So that is what is ROI, because at the end of the day, when we calculate the return on investment, so we should have that benchmark that we have already addressed and we have achieved that. So that is what is ROI when we calculate the ROI on automation. So then why do we need to calculate the ROI? ROI is needed to be calculated mainly because in order to understand whether the testing or automation is going in the right direction. That is the main goal of calculating ROI, because each iteration, when we calculate the achievements or the savings, it should give us the proper inputs. Okay, the testing activity is going in the right direction. We are not losing something in the while doing the testing activity, or none of the bugs are being leaked to the site or the market. So those things and all we can analyze and calculate using the ROI. That is the main goal of calculating the ROI. And while doing so, we will be able to improve the efficiency, we will be able to improve the cost effectiveness and reduce repetition and improve the product quality. And it helps us in improving the release frequency also. So these are all the main goals of calculating the ROI. Yeah, next slide, please. Yeah, so then when do we need to calculate the ROI? So it depends on the product which we are testing and the release cycle. So each depending on the product testing life cycle as well as the release cycle. So we can calculate it according to the sprint cycle sometimes, because each sprint we will be able to cover so much of testing activity as well as writing the scripts. And sometimes if the release cycle is too huge, if the product release cycle is having a large duration, so then we can calculate it according to the product release cycle also. So, and apart from that, so depending on the type of testing what you are doing, so depending on the different types of testing activity, you can calculate the ROI according to that also. So those formulas and all, maybe in the future slides we will be able to explain you depending on the use cases. Yeah. Then how to calculate this? So there are different formulas for calculating the testing ROI. But when we are calculating those, so what are the criteria which we need to look into? For example, percentage of execution duration, or whether what are the costs that has been saved, what are the costs that have been incurred because of these automation activities, and how much it has been saved, and how much is the percentage in product quality, and how many resources have been utilized, and resources in the sense it includes human resources as well as the infrastructure cost. And when we are talking about this, the overall concept is like we have to quantify each and everything. So without those things, the calculation of ROI is not possible at all. So the main criteria is to quantify each and everything to understand the returns, whatever we are getting. So that is the main point when we talk about ROI calculation and TCO calculation. Yeah, next slide, please. So when we talk about ROI and ownership, and when we start the test automation, so what are all the testing challenges which we will face, so which we will come across? So we can just look into two different areas of testing challenges. One is the dimensions. So there are multiple dimensions into software testing. For example, we will have to look into the conformance area, product conformance area, wherein there will be so many challenges which we will start with. And then there are safety and regulations which we will have to handle, and the security and privacy, which is very critical when we release the product into the market. So that area also will have to do a thorough testing. And there are multiple complex areas like network and interoperability areas. And apart from that, the performance and scalability, which is very critical because of the technology upgradations and all. And apart from that, when you keep on releasing the product, so you'll have to ensure that the scalability is addressed when we are from the testing perspective. And in the end, the usability, which is very important from the user point of view, which has to be tested thoroughly and understood properly. So considering these are the only few dimensions which we will be testing. There are other areas which we are not covering here because there are so many types of testings which we'll have to do it while doing the testing activity. So what are the challenges with respect to these dimensions? The first challenge what we will get is the lack of communication between different stakeholders. So that will lead to a lot of issues in the long term when we have some kind of a communication gap. So that is one area which we can address using automation. So that is one critical area which leads to a lot of issues during the testing activity. And overall system complexity. So when we are considering automation or improvement of improvement in return on investment and reducing the cost ownership, the overall system complexity is a very complex area which we will have to address it. So that testing also will face a lot of challenges during the understanding of the system complexity and designing the test cases and testing infrastructure. So other than that, the number of configurations because of the hardware architecture and software architecture. So number of configurations will be very huge. So and testing all the configurations will be very difficult. So it will lead to a lot of time gaps, time delays, and delay in deliveries. And dependency on the third-party hardware and software. So that is another area which delays our testing activities. So and multiple third-party hardwares and softwares covering all the test cases will be very difficult. And bugs in third-party software affects our testing activities. And fast evolving architecture and protocols. So covering each and every new development or improvements in the software technology, that will lead to a lot of delays as well as complexities. And incomplete documentation, which is another area which has to be improved, for which there will be a lot of time that is required for this. And apart from this, there is another area which we need to consider for test automation is the coexistence of different applications like antivirus, operating system dependencies, and other things, middlewares. So many things are there. So when you are doing the testing activity or when you are considering test automation, we will have to look into all these challenges and design a proper testing automation infrastructure as well as frameworks and all. So if the testing automation is not done properly, that itself will add to the problems and that will be a liability in the long term. So that is where we have to consider all these aspects in the beginning stage itself and start developing the test automation. Yeah, next slide, please. So with these points, keeping in mind with these points, we will start analyzing few case studies and give some best approaches for reducing the TCO as well as improving our ROI. So the first problem statement or the case study is testing of HMI and DCS system. So the problem statement is the DCS system operates in huge and complex settings. It has a huge and complex setting which will be difficult to cover while testing. So that means it will have multiple test cases and it will be very difficult to cover all those test cases. The area is huge and you'll have to cover so many different types of testing like functionality, performance, and load testing. And apart from that, this particular system supports different platforms like cloud as well as desktop. And it will be connecting to multiple devices, and getting the data from all those devices was very difficult and challenging. Because of all these complexities, there was a need for high number of human resources as well as very high cost involved in the testing infrastructure. So what are the challenges or the final outcome of this if we go with the manual testing, as well as if we have an improper or not unplanned testing framework, automation framework? So because of all these challenges, the increased time consumption for validation of different parameters on multiple devices, and reduced execution speed and unsatisfactory test coverage because of the complexity and huge nature of the application. So the time the team was getting was very less, and they were not able to cover most of the test cases, and it was leading to a lot of defect leakages. So, and other than this, while doing the execution, the team was not getting enough time for covering the test reports and report the issue at the right time. So, and apart from that, because of the huge nature of the application and the infrastructure, it was over a period of time, it was difficult to maintain the overall infrastructure. So that those challenges are the few of the basic challenges which we have highlighted. So what are the solutions with which we can handle these things? So as I mentioned, automation is one of the solutions which we can handle, but how to proceed with the automation? Yeah, can we go to the next slide? The solution what we gave was, so to start with, so we suggested to go with a detailed feasibility study. So the main challenge what the automation team faces is that most of the clients, they will just ask whether this tool is feasible to automate this. So, but would that be sufficient? For sure, no. Only that analyzing the tool and tool feasibility may not be sufficient for getting a good return on investment. So when we are automating any application, it is always suggested to understand the complexity of the application, the overall infrastructure that is involved, and that apart from that, there are so many other areas like what are all the data that needs to be validated, and in the over a long period of time, how much maintenance cost it will incur, how many number of resources that may be required to handle all these automation areas. All these things need to be calculated and analyzed during the feasibility study itself. It is always a better approach to understand the system complexity and check with at least few of the best standard automation tools along with the basic infrastructure that is required. So then after calculating all those things, after analyzing all these requirements, then go with the best framework, whichever is suggested for that particular requirement and application. So with all these things, so we designed a framework which covered huge type of test data, which manage huge types of test data, and the maintenance in the long term, it should be very easy to maintain and add any new releases as well as any new infrastructure related hardwares. And exception handling and reusability were the main criteria which most of the frameworks will be defined, and this one also was done like that. And the reliability and scalability and application independent framework. So the application was scalable in the sense, in the future, if any new things that is added, so the framework would have taken care of that, and it would have been easy to modify or add the code. And identification of and handling of flaky tests and edge transitions. So that was one thing which took care of while writing the framework. And detailed test report for better understanding and tracking. And we suggested to go with simulators as well as device simulators to reduce the cost. So these are all the solutions which we proposed, and the benefits what they got was huge actually. So for example, the cost of whatever cost-wise return on investment, whatever they were able to get was within 6 build releases itself, they could achieve the break even, and they could start getting the benefits or profits from the 7th build release onwards. And infrastructure reusability increased by greater than 100%. So the same infrastructure, whatever it was suggested here, they could start using it for other builds also, other products also. And there was an increase in release velocity by greater than 120% because of the reduction in the time saved during the test execution by automation. Then there was a manpower dependency that was reduced by greater than 50%. Earlier, the number of resources, whatever they were using, it got reduced by greater than 50%. So that means with just 50% of the resources, they were able to complete the testing activity. And the maintenance cost reduced by greater than 80%. So because of introduction of simulators and device simulators, and also their infrastructure cost and the maintenance was reduced by greater than 80%. And they were able to reuse the scripts across different products or the releases. So that also got increased by greater than 35%. So test coverage also, they were able to improve by more than 50%. So each build release, they were able to cover more number of test cases, and the regression also, it saved a lot of time for them. And the bug detection also, it improved by greater than 70% and reduced the defect leakage. So what I'm trying to tell you is all these we were able to calculate and quantify using the numbers. So that is how we can calculate the ROI. Yeah, can you just go to the next slide? So these things have to be presented graphically also. I'll just show you only 2 of the graphs which we could show here, because most of the things we will not be able to highlight because of the limitation. So if you could see here, within before build 6 itself, they were able to reach the break even. So afterwards, after the 7th build, whatever they are going to save, all those will be converted into profits. And if you see the savings in terms of cost, you can see that after 7th build release, by 12th release, before 12th release, they were able to save somewhere around $8 lakh. That was a huge saving. May not be in terms of cost, but if they have continued with manual execution or an improper automation framework, they may not have saved this much. So that is how we have to quantify and calculate each and everything. And apart from the, if you calculate the bug, whichever bug, if it is released to the market, so if you analyze the risk prospects, so that will add few more dollars into the savings. Yeah, can we go to the next slide? So this is one of the automation project wherein we can just do the start, we can just start at the, we just started the automation, whereas automation is not something which you can just do it for the first time and forget it. So if you want to get good returns on investments as well as reduce the cost of ownership, you need to just keep on doing a better maintenance activity as well as upgrade the scripting. So that is how you can save a lot of dollars as well as you can improve on your ROI. So this is the other case study in which I will show you how we can improvise on the overall ROI. So after first type of automation, what we have done, we have suggested few more changes in the automation framework and improved the ROI in the second phase. So I just show you how it can be done. So this particular customer was having a few products which have to be tested on along with few of the antiviruses. So the antivirus, and the client recommends around 3 different types of antivirus software. So his products were every day on a daily basis, he has to qualify against these antivirus products. So because the antivirus companies, they will on a daily basis, they will release few antivirus files. So along with those antivirus files, his product has to be tested in order to validate whether any functionality has been affected or any performance has been affected. So in order to test all those things, he used to follow some kind of a manual testing. So the manual testing execution was taking more than 18 hours per day, and that is per release. So there were multiple releases of this particular application under test. And apart from that, he used to add almost 1 or 2 releases every year. So that also would have got added to this inventory, and he has to cover all those new products also along with this. And apart from that, even any change in the operating system, he has to validate these antivirus along with his products. That is another inventory that will be getting added here. And apart from that, it was very time consuming activity, mainly because of the DCS system or the application. It was having multiple systems, and any network related issues or hardware related issues, that was taking more time for him to address those things and then start the testing activity. And the test results, because he was able to test on multiple releases, right? So because of that, the reporting part also was taking a lot of time, and the consolidation also was taking a lot of time. And around 504 hours of manual testing effort was required per week. So because of all these challenges, the approximate cost per week was around somewhere around $20,000. So which he was incurring. And because of all these challenges, he was not able to deliver those releases or the details on time. So that is because every day, if you release the file on a different time, so customers also were not happy because of this. Yeah, next slide, please. So initially, we suggested to him to go with different releases and automating the different releases separately. So initially, we created a framework using a proprietary COTS tool, and because it would have made us to analyze the test cases and test scripts, and even the maintenance also would have been easier. Then we tried to automate it from end to end. That means download the daily files from the antivirus vendor till the release of the application, till the release, we have automated every end-to-end process. Then we have isolated the execution of automation scripts from each product and release in order to make it easy to maintain. Then we have created a framework for test data management and ease of maintenance. And apart from that, we ensure that the framework, whatever it was designed, it was reliable, scalable, and application independent framework. So in order to maintain each release, so we have created separate test scripts and ensure that those scripts are run separately from different machines. So because of all these separate executions, the logs and reports were generated separately, and it has to be consolidated and sent to the stakeholders. So what are the advantages and what are the final output of this particular framework? The cost-wise return on investment, they were able to reach the break-even within 63 build releases. And the increase in release velocity was increased by, release velocity was increased by greater than 11%. And the cost per week, which was somewhere around $20,000, it got reduced to around $2,050. And manpower dependency was also reduced by 30%. So, and because of all these changes, the maintenance cost also was reduced by around 80%. And bug detection also was improved by somewhere around 60%. And he was able to reuse the scripts by somewhere around 25%. So overall improvements of the communication across stakeholders also was achieved, mainly because he was able to save around 2 hours in a day because of the execution. So he was able to achieve what he wanted, but still there was a scope for improvements, and we suggested another approach. Over a period of time, we delivered that also. So can we go to the next slide? So here, instead of automating a product, what we did is we automated the overall process itself, thereby saving a lot of investment as well as the time. So with this approach, with the second approach, what we suggested and implemented, so we introduced CI/CD, and all the executions we started from a single machine. So with the same script, with one script instead of multiple scripts, we merged most of the scripts into one and started execution from the same system so that a single test report will be generated. So with this approach, he was able to save a lot of, infrastructure cost as well as human resource involvement also. So with instead of desktop, we suggest to go with VMs as well as cloud. So with this, what are the advantage? What are the advantages here? So the main thing is within less than 50 releases, he was able to retrieve his whatever investment he has done for the automation. Second thing is like the release velocity was increased by 15%, and the cost per week reduced further to $3,000, and manpower dependency reduced by greater than 90%. Then maintenance cost also reduced by greater than 80% here, and the scope for reusing the script increased by 40%, and the bug detection also it improved by greater than 60%, mainly because we know from where the scripts are running, and it is easy to track and address the issues. And overall improvements in communication and across all the stakeholders, mainly because of time savings and single reporting. Yeah, next slide, please. So if you compare approach 1 and approach 2, so with approach 1, the client was able to retrieve his ROI within 9 weeks, whereas in the approach 2, he was able to reach the break even in less than 8 weeks. So that is another advantage. And the script maintenance, it will take lesser time here, mainly because of the one script wherein it is easy for him to handle and modify in case or maintain in the long term. Yeah. So yeah, over to you.
Thanks, Ravi. So, based on what Ravi has been discussing so far, I'd like to continue and extend the same discussion into cloud testing. So, when I say cloud testing, we are not saying that we'll not be having any on-prem testing. So, we face many issues with on-prem testing, which nobody is going to deny. So, to overcome all those issues, we suggested some of our clients to improve their ROI using cloud testing. So To explain the same, I would like to take an example of a case study of one of our customer. Okay, so we had a leading OEM customer who was facing issues in delivering quality product. Okay, so they are facing issues in executing their test across platforms, across multiple browsers, and finally they're not happy with what they are actually delivering. So to overcome all these uh, issues, we suggested them migration to cloud and executing their tests in the cloud setup. Okay, so how did we actually solve their issue? Uh, I'll explain you in more detail as we go ahead. So they had a manual test execution, which was having a effort of close to 18 hours per release. If you see over here, and encountered issues while they are testing against multiple browsers and platforms, and scalability issues. So how did we help them in solving these problems? Yes. So we at Utunga, what we tried was how can we actually bring in benefit to them as well as also reduce their overall cost, because we could see that if they are spending so much of money on manpower and spending so much of time for each release, how can we actually automate few things for them so that they can reduce the overall execution time for per release and also the efficiency as well. So let me go by both aspects, one the cost benefit and also the application side benefits that we actually incurred. Okay, so if from application wise benefits, increased in test coverage. So we came up with a very good test framework which was robust enough so that it can be used across platforms and across browsers. So that way we increase the coverage and ensured the accuracy as well. So it is not like for test was failing on one browser and was working fine on another. So we made sure that it is in place. This helped in improving their overall regression testing as well, because uh, there are occasions wherein the issues come on a particular browser or a particular platform. So to handle all these things, we had test automation in place and things were running in the cloud, right? So facilitates reusable of test scripts. So we can actually rerun as many times as you want on a cloud space. So that is an added advantage. So we can identify the complex use cases and run it as well. So that is another positive side of it. So with all having said all these things, how does that cloud testing help is it saves cost in many ways, right? So you don't require somebody to sit and execute your tests all the while. You can schedule it and the scheduler takes care of the runs and it will publish the result. So how does this increase the ROI? It definitely increases the ROI because the coverage is increasing, the number of times you are running your test is more. So as a result, you know the status of your each PR. When we say PR, it is for each merge request or the PR that the development team creates. You can always execute your tests on the latest version, right? So this way you will get to know where actually the actual issue or performance issue or some issue which has just got into the system without our notice and things like that. You will be always able to narrow down. So they'll also provide you the dashboard service, which actually saves your time. You need not sit and prepare your report. All you have to do is go and check where the actual execution happened, what report you want to generate, and you can just share the same with the team. So this way you have all the positives aspect of uh, cloud testing, which is always beneficial as you proceed. So initially it looks cumbersome, but let me tell you, it is really good to migrate because it has more benefits than disadvantages. Having said that, I would like to explain you how actually the ROI calculation actually happens, right? So all the while Ravi was able to say some of the success stories that Uttunga has been able to achieve with various customers across industries and customer bases. So we have taken up one example to actually show you uh, mathematically how this actually worked out for us. So there are many formulas for you to calculate the ROI part, right? So Generally, for a layman to understand, we finally narrow it down and we say it is nothing but a benefit divided by the cost. Okay, so what are the benefits and what is the cost? So generally, the benefit is what is the amount of time that you actually spend for your manual execution, and what is the amount of time that you spend for test automation, and finally, the cost incurred is how much of actually the amount of uh, investment that you are doing for your test automation. So all these things are taken into account, and we'll be calculating for each release. And overall, when you refer to the graphs that Ravi was showing you, initially you will be having that ROI will be low, but as you proceed further, we reach a point wherein we'll break even with the investment that we have made, and upon after anything that comes after that, right? Probably after 7-8 months, from ninth month onwards, the ROI is always on the positive side, and finally it reaches a very high stage, and you need not worry about what is happening on the test automation side. So it is all plug and play. So here I have just taken up some of the numbers. It may not be exactly the same, but just uh, just a number for our calculation purpose. So how much of time we require to spend on a manual automation test, how much of time we spend on design, how much of time we spend on execution, what is the cost for a resource to handle all these things, how much of duration that we'll be doing that activity. All these things are actually taken care over here. If you see over here, how much of time, how much of cost, how much of time for each activity, right? For development of a test, execution of test, and maintenance of the tests, maintenance of the automation scripts. This is also one something which we have to consider, and the hardware dependencies and the software licenses. So this is the initial values that we have considered. So how do we get down to a result? Okay. So if you see, we will be calculating the cost of automation, right? We consider the price of the hardware, price of the software, time to develop the scripts, time to maintain the scripts. So this is also something very key. So all these things we have to consider, and once we get to know, we reach to a number as to how much of cost we incur for automation. Okay. Similarly, we have come to the cost for manual execution as well: time to develop test cases, time to maintain, time to execute n number of times, and things like that. This is for over a period of a year. Okay, so and based on your release cycle. So considering all these things, the total cost for incurred for manual execution has come down to something like this. So we have already said ROI is equal to benefit or divided by cost. So benefit is nothing but the value that you get after subtracting the manual minus the automation aspect and then dividing by the automation cost. So that is going to come into 100. So that is going to come to somewhere around 61% over a course of 1 year. So this exactly matches with the chart where Ravi was showing, right? So it was actually increasing in this direction, something like it is going up. So once you bring in and bring in automation and into the cloud as well, it is always ROI will be always high, and that is what we finally want to achieve in any organization. So finally, for conclusion and best approaches, I'll hand it over to Ravi. Over to you, Ravi.
Yeah, thanks, Nandan. So to conclude, so what are the best approaches for improving ROI and reducing the TCO? So the first thing that we need to do is a detailed feasibility study. So feasibility study should not limit to only the tools or the artifacts that we will be using for testing. So it should include the infrastructure, whatever we will be utilizing for the testing activity. It should consider all the complexities that will be involved while doing the testing. And while analyzing the testing tool or the automation tool, we should look into the resource availability. So resource availability in the sense, there may not be so many human resources who may have that knowledge in the field, in the market. And apart from that, the tool, automation tool may not be feasible with few of the technologies. So all those things we need to consider when we do a technical feasibility. And apart from that, we need to consider what are the limitations of the tool and what are the advantages if we go with this particular tool, and what are all the approaches which we can take while using this particular automation tool, and the infrastructure and other hardware parts also, and apart from that, which are all frameworks it supports. So if we consider all these aspects and the complexities, so the feasibility study may take a little bit more time, but it should not affect the overall, because if we don't spend much time doing a feasibility study, it is going to affect the overall automation, and it will return a lesser profit, or it may lead to a loss also. So we have to give a lot of importance for this technical feasibility study. And while doing the feasibility study, we will have to look into the TCO and ROI also. So that means from the economic perspective, what are all the challenges in the future? So we need to consider those aspects also. And the schedule. So whether it is feasible to automate and deliver. I mean, even while executing the scripts, whether this particular framework or the technology what we are using, whether it will be able to deliver the required requirements, whatever we are talking about. So that part also we need to look into. And other operational aspects like direct and indirect costs, the maintenance aspects, the resource availability, training aspects, all those things we'll have to look into while doing a feasibility study. Yeah, next slide, please. And apart from that, so when we are talking about the automation, so feasibility is done. So we have finalized some automation tool and the infrastructure, the environment, and the resources availability. Then when we start the automation, so we need to first prioritize and decide which test cases we are going to automate. So that decision should be made in the beginning itself. So that is going to save a lot of time when we start the automation activity. And never ever try to automate everything. So that is another critical area, because most of the automation teams fail because they think about automating each and everything, which is highly impossible. So limit yourselves to those automation test cases which are automatable and which are very important from the end user perspective, and which are more complex also from the end user perspective. So then apart from that, as much as possible, use standard test automation tools, frameworks, and test techniques, because you will get a lot of support from the tool vendor as well as the net. I mean, there will be a lot of groups which will be supporting that. Then always utilize good quality test data. Otherwise, the testing will be a failure. So if we don't use proper test data, good quality test data, we will not get proper results. And in the market, when the product is delivered, we may get a lot of issues from the end users. Then plan end-to-end user scenarios, which will save us a lot of time while doing execution, and divide the testing efforts across the team properly. That also will help us in reducing the cost as well as time. Then the final thing is, small team is always will give a lot of higher benefits. So the communication will be faster, and the execution also, it will help us in reducing the cost as well as the execution time. Then the standard approaches like shift left approach. So start the testing activity as early as possible. Then parallel testing should be done wherever it is possible. So it will save a lot of execution time. And when the time is less, when we don't have much time for the execution as well as the writing the test cases, or there is very less time in during the release cycle. So plan for risk-based and combinatorial testing approaches. So because we'll not be able to cover all the scenarios, so go for risk-based and as well as combinatorial testing approaches. As wherever it is possible, use simulators and emulators. Document each and every activity, which will help us in the long term. And there should be always proper maintenance of scripts and other artifacts. So each and every regression, we will have to look into the non-used or unused test cases, which and all are not required, just modify, which and all are not required, remove them, wherever it is required to modify those scripts and keep it in the proper working condition. So wherever it is possible, go with CI/CD and DevOps. It will save a lot of time and help you in improving the ROI and reducing the TCO. These are all the best approaches which we followed, and we would suggest or recommend all others to follow for helping in improving the ROI. Yeah, thanks, Anand. So over to you, Zishan.
Thank you, Nandan and Ravi. That was enlightening. And we are open for questions now. I request the attendees to please send out your questions using the Q&A icon on your left hand side of the screen. You can take up the questions.
Yes, actually, yeah. First question what I received is like, do we have to consider the depreciation and how to do that? So yeah, when we are calculating the ROI, so we will have to consider the depreciation of all the even all the infrastructure aspects, hardwares and other things. Yes, it has to be considered, and even other aspects like the capital expenditures, whatever we incur. So those things, yes, we will have to calculate. But the automation tools, whatever we will be using, if we are using a COTS proprietary tool, we will have to calculate the actual value or actual cost of those tools. So with the depreciation, automatically the cost of ownership will increase. So that is how that is how we have to calculate the ROI. But when we are considering that, we have to work on improving our test scripts and the execution part. So we can compensate this depreciation by improving our scripts execution and saving time while doing the execution, time as well as improving the quality of the product. So that is how we can manage the increasing cost of ownership with improving our quality of the product. Yeah.
Okay, there is another question. So, any tool dependency to migrate to cloud testing? Okay, fine. So there isn't any tool dependency as such. So any popular test automation tools, if you are using, be it Selenium, Protractor, or Cypress, Puppeteer, all these things can be integrated. And there are many other tools. I just named a few. JMeter, anything can be integrated with the cloud solution provider. So you have many cloud solution providers like BrowserStack, SaaS Labs. You can approach any of them, but yeah, there isn't any dependency as such. So all you have to do is whatever you have actually maintained in your local premise, make sure that you migrate it and just run it in cloud space. That's it. So it is just that you will not be executing in your local, but it will be running in your cloud space. No much of a difference over there. Thank you. Have any other questions to check, Ravi?
Nothing from my side, Nandan.
There's one question, I guess. To you, Nandan.
Okay, fine. So what are the challenges in migration? Okay, so the challenges might be in understanding of the whole process, right? So when you are just trying to challenge, the challenges that you generally faces will be from the how to actually handle the what is it, the licensing part of it and installation. So those things will be taken care by the support team if you go for them. So that should not be a problem. So migration is not a difficult aspect. Keep things simple. That's it.
I think we are on the end mark. So
We have one more question,
yeah,
Zishan.
let's
Last question. Yeah.
let's take that
How
one.
is how is the cost of execution is added to total cost for cloud automation? Okay, so cost of execution will not be taken for cloud automation as such, because the tooling and the licensing cost is considered for that aspect. So whatever runs that you do on cloud, right? So that is the ROI you are having, right? So you're not making anybody sit and execute your test. Okay, so you always make all those things via scheduler. So that is the advantage that you get. So whatever you execute in cloud is for free. So there will be some plans that you have to opt for, and based on that you will always have the uh, what is it, the returns on what you have invested. So the licensing part takes care of it. So we have considered that parameter as well while coming up with the uh, cost incurred.
All right, so let's due to the time constraint, let's move on. So thank you everyone for your questions and participations. I think few of the questions are there which we'll be able to answer. We're not able to answer today, but we shall answer them via email soon. Just in case if you have any further questions, please email us at contact@utunga.com. I repeat, contact@utunga.com. Before we move on, let's have a quick poll for 30 seconds. Request the attendees to please select the options. Which of the following VNV services will you be interested in? And I see a majority of our audience is looking forward for application testing. Thank you for your feedback, and let's continue. So we have a news for you. So we are having an upcoming webinar, which is on smart QA testing with AI and ML. So in this webinar, we will cover how to do a smart QA testing using AI and ML technologies, which will be conducted in the month of September. We will be sharing the registration link shortly. Do check out our YouTube channel. You can watch our previously conducted webinars on other topics. Just search for Utunga in the YouTube search bar. The first thing you see is us. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Next slide. With that, we have come to the end of our session today. Thank you everyone for the participation in the webinar. We hope you have learned how to calculate ROI and TCO and the best methods to improve our ROI and reduce your TCO. Utunga, as a product engineering company, can help you build products and solutions from concept all the way through the life cycle of the product. If you have any other queries, please feel free to reach out to us at contact@utunga.com. I repeat, contact@utunga.com. Finally, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to follow us on LinkedIn, where we share all our latest and ongoing activities there. Thank you, everyone. Stay safe.